Good evening. I'm Poppy Harlow, and you're watching Poo News. The first news, TanaCon. You're sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of talking about it. So let's just jump into it. Trust me, there's some pretty spicy news in here that you need to know about. For those of you who don't know, Tanamongo, the YouTuber, made a meetup convention at the very same time as VidCon, at the very same location as VidCon, and me ignoring all the lies that were involved, it was, to summarize it, a disaster. Thousands of young fans were waiting outside in the sun with no food, no water, no cover for hours until eventually the event got entirely cancelled. Disappointing fans that thought they were gonna meet their favorite creators, you know, probably parents and themselves obviously, spending a lot of money on travel, hotel, and the ticket themselves, which was rendered useless. The first blame that we were told was that 15,000 people, 15,000 just magically showed up unexpectedly. And there's no way for anyone to just handle that situation. And a lot of people bought it. I even bought it at some point. But later, it came out that that was a lie from a police statement from the City Garden Grove Police Department saying that 4,000 tickets were sold and only 1,000 people could actually fit in the event. So then it caused a lot of drama and speculation as to, did Tana know about this? Did Good Times, the event organizer, did they know about this? And there was a lot of back and forth going on, and it wasn't really sure what exactly went wrong, who is responsible of these two parties. Was it Tana? Was it Michael from Good Times? Well, now we have the answer. Don't you just love a nice conclusion? Thanks to Shane Dawson's latest video, he's a close friend with Tanamongo. So we get the inside truth. And sorry, not just the truth about Tanamongo, but the real truth about Tanamongo. Now, the video is 41 minutes long, and I definitely recommend watching it if you're interested, but I will, however, summarize it for you. It's basically 30 minutes of incoherent, ugly sobbing.
You don't understand. Like, you were everything I've ever wanted to be, and you believing in me even if it's slightest for anything.
Does anyone know what she's saying? Scientists are still trying to figure this out. I'm Poppy Harlow, and rest assured, I will do my best. We are working around the clock to decipher this word.
And you believing in me even if it's slightest for anything.
In my opinion, Shay did a really good job at giving the most balanced view on this situation as he possibly could. That being said, they are friends. It's never going to be a balanced presentation. And in my opinion, there was a lot of Tana constantly going after Michael and deflecting blame towards him. She doesn't have many options to play at this point.
Because I don't know, should I have another venue tomorrow? Should I keep trusting Michael when he keeps me over? I don't understand anything. And you still have not answered my last, 10 questions to you. You just keep diverting the subject.
Because you don't let him speak. Jesus Christ. And I'm sitting there like, it doesn't matter. I can agree that she feels betrayed, that, you know, she thought the event would handle it. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. And I'll tell you why. Because they both knew. They both knew. They both knew. Both Tana and Good Times knew that the event only held 1,000 people. They both knew that they sold tickets for 5,000. Which isn't surprising. Anytime I work with a company, the first thing they report is, how many tickets did we sell? Or how many blah 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 did we sell? How many units did we turn? What profit did we make? It's pretty relevant information. And the fact that they're pretending like they didn't know any of this.
We're in a good capacity. I mean, we could drop it to 3,000 if we wanted to, instead of 5,200.
But are we gonna?
We could. But are we gonna be more responsible and drop it from 5,000 to 3,000, which is still 3 times too many people? They both knew. They also knew that the hotel only held 1,200.
But what is capacity?
The hotel told him 1,200, but obviously
In like the main
that,
ballroom. I have it set at 5,200 right now.
I love that for us.
I love that for us. Yeah. Do you love it now, Tana? And the final bit that annoyed me so much. The final clip that is so annoying to me, and I can't. It's. Let's just play it.
It would be really, really cool too to have people like outside waiting to get in. Like people love to be oppressed outside.
Yes.
They're just like, I waited in the rain. Like they love that.
Tana Mongo. People love to be oppressed outside.
They stand in the heat for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Say it's canceled.
People love to be oppressed outside.
Tana, hello. In case you're watching, I hope you are. I have a message for you. You say in Shane's video many times that you want to make it right. You want to make the situation better, but you don't know how because it's too overwhelming.
I let so many people down and I want to make it right, but it's crazy. This is not something I ever thought would happen and I don't know what to do, but I have to make it right.
You're in luck because I know how to make this right, and I'm not saying that sarcastically and ironically. Here's what you gotta do. Delete your channel. You clearly don't deserve to have an audience. The people being oppressed outside was your audience. The people that care for you. The people that paid money to see you. To me, this is a perfect example of greed of ego and greed of money being combined and creating this giant mess, and ultimately everyone loses. Except me, because I get content to criticize. I mean, I had fun.
People love to be oppressed outside.
Next news. Every once in a while, a death occurs in relation to a video game. Usually it's in regards of someone playing for 40 hours straight, even playing for days on straight. And lately, we've been seeing a movement more and more towards the idea that gaming is something harmful. The White House, for example, exclaiming that video games causes school shootings. World Health Organization classifying gaming disorder as a mental health condition. We talked about this on this channel, but we haven't seen before a psychological death related to video games, at least as far as I'm concerned. Until now.
Good morning. We're going to start this morning by talking about a free online game after police and a coroner have warned about the risks of it to children. It's called Doki Doki Literature Club, and it starts like a dating game set in a high school and features a group of animated girls in a book club. Things do turn sinister, with characters self-harming and killing themselves. It's said to be suitable for players aged 13 or over. It was launched last year and was downloaded 2 million times in the first 4 months. An inquest will be held into the death of a 15-year-old called Ben Wormsley from Bury, whose father said the game dragged his son in.
So it was reported in the Manchester News that a 15-year-old boy was found dead. Now his dad and coroner have warned about the horror online game he was playing, Doki Doki Literature Club. This has been covered in a lot of different media. Don't let your child play Doki Doki Literature Club before reading this. It's a bit late now, isn't it? A quote from the father saying that Ben was growing up fast. It's hard for parents, but this needs to be highlighted. There is no confirmation yet, but we believe that the game could be linked to Ben's death. So they're not outright blaming the game for the cause of death. They're just saying that it's a potential cause. That isn't really what gets echoed through the media. And Doki Doki is the front phase of this sad event because of it. But what I've noticed while reading through a couple articles is that the description of the game doesn't really fit what the gameplay actually is. You know, I played the game on my channel. It was very popular. People really liked it. It's an amazing game in my opinion. And the constant point that's being reiterated in this article is that the game will not leave you alone. It will drag you in. That doesn't fit Doki Doki in my opinion, but fine. Then it's pointed out in another article that the game is an online game, which it isn't. I don't know where they got that from. And the father describing the game as the character befriends and love you and give you tasks to do, but if you do not do them, they turn nasty. It doesn't really fit either. And then finally, after reading this, the game was linked with his mobile phone and he would be contacted by text message during day and night, often waking him up. That's when I realized they're not talking about Doki Doki Literature Club. They're talking about another game. It's even shown here in another article. They're talking about Mystic Messenger. A game where you message people. A game that will give you notifications at random points. At least I think. That's what I imagine is what he meant. A game that drags you in. A game that's free. It all fits. It all fits perfectly. If you go to Doki Doki's website, the game doesn't lure you in. It's not some sort of con to portray it as this colorful game, and it's really a massive plot twist to anyone that it's a horror game. People know. You go on the website and it's tagged as a psychological horror. And the first text that shows up is that the game is not suitable for children and those who easily disturb. But then I thought it was interesting because in contrast to this other gaming related death, this game is actually very short. It's not focused to drag you in or keep you playing or keep you hooked on the game like many other games are designed to be these days. And after this article came out, another parent came forward and said the same thing, that their child had problems sleeping, stopped eating, there was no clear signs of what would happen, but there were many things happening with my son and Doki Doki is just one part of it. But I need the death of my son to have some meaning. Now, I can't possibly imagine what it's like to lose a child, and I don't know the hardship of what it's like to being a parent, and I'm not blaming any parent. Sometimes horrible things just happen for no good reason. But in my opinion, one video game doesn't drive you to do this. At least not Doki Doki Literature Club. It's just not a reasonable claim. And I'm gonna put on my Sonic Says meme thumbs up here. PewDiePie says, as a parent, you should be equally focused on what your child is doing online or in front of the computer as you are focused on what they're doing in their everyday life. I think a lot of parents don't realize that kids are practically growing up in front of their computers, and it's a massive part of their social interaction. To some extent, it needs to be monitored to prevent these sort of things from happening. And the fact that the parent in this instant described another game and calling it Doki Doki Literature Club shows, to some extent at least, that they didn't know what the child was up to, or at least didn't understand it. And I understand that it's confusing as well, but what really amazes me here is how poorly this was covered by the media, with almost every single news article all pointing to Doki Doki, when clearly that's not it. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? I want to hear them. Let me know in the comments. Kind of a downer. It's not the most fun, pleasant news to talk about, but I think it's important nonetheless. And finally, I appreciate all the support on Pew News.